Alright, welcome back. In this video we're going to be talking about editing your issues and then how to transition them through the workflow that is in front of a board. Now, this video will only focus on how to move your issues across what is right there currently. In the later series where I'll go about talking through Jira administration, we'll be discussing how you actually edit the workflow and how you can create your own custom workflows. So that'll be in a separate issue. This one's geared towards the end user just moving the issues across the board. So if you watched my last video, you'll see that I created a test issue here. I went through that process of going through the create button, filling out basically some of the fields in here, and then hitting the create button. So clearly I did a very terrible job filling out this ticket. So what we're going to do is go ahead and edit it. By clicking on the ticket itself, it'll only prompt this sidebar to pop out, which gives you sort of a summary of everything that's in the ticket, including these fields, which not necessarily may or may not affect you, as well as the people region, the details, the date details, and description, comments, attachments. But in order to actually see the full view, you have to click here, get the sidebar to drop down, and then click this link right here. Now this is the full view, but some of these won't actually populate because they have none on them. So what I like to do is hit the edit button right there and go through and edit your issue. So let's just say this is a edited test ticket, and here I can change the story to, or the issue type to be whatever I want. The reporter should probably stay the same. I'm going to add a description. Fixed version, priority, you can change these to various selections. I'm going to assign this to myself. And I'm going to leave a comment. And I'm going to update that. And as you see, this will populate. You can also do this editing from this screen here, because you'll find this drop down to basically show a lot of the menu options. So you can edit, you can assign. Logging work is useful. That'll prompt a time spent thing, and that'll track it within the ticket and provide you metrics later. Send to top or send to bottom, which means send to the top of this column or send to the bottom of this column. You can also do things like attaching the files, creating a subtask since it is a story, linking it to another issue, deleting it. Although this is some of these options may or may not be available to you depending on your permissions and how you have your permission settings configured. Flagging, and then of course there's more. This is just really a drop down of everything you can do. I really like this operation because I can search for anything like create subtask, or I can do things like delete. But based off of this, so say for example, you're working on a ticket and you say, all right, I want to take on this edit test ticket. All you have to do is really drag it into in progress. Now, that's pretty straightforward, but I've heard people saying, why is some of these not available? Like, why maybe I cannot drag back to do, or maybe why I can't drag back to certain areas. Well, that's because your Jira administrator has configured it to where they don't want you resetting things back into to-do, or maybe they don't want you taking a task from in review and putting it back into in progress, and they believe that only in review should get finished to done. So these are little quirks that are worked out in the workflow itself, and is not something that you as an end user can actually influence and change. So be sure to talk to your Jira administrator if you're finding workflow issues. Other than that, dragging from any state to any other state that's not the final right side done column is pretty easy and is pretty self-explanatory. But when you do drag to the done column, sometimes what will happen is a screen will pop up. So as you can see there, it didn't pop up, but there is a resolve issue screen that is configurable that can pop up and say, what is your resolution? Because if I actually go into this ticket here, 24, the resolution is automatically set at done. this can be changed to a whole slew of various resolutions, which is not on this workflow. In the situation that there is a screen that pops up, be sure to fill it out and then click done and close. The strike through in all the done means that there is a resolution set. It means that this field right here is populated. If for any reason you have a broken workflow and that does not set a resolution but does set a status, you'll see that the ticket will live in the done column without a strike through. Clearly this is a default workflow, so they've covered the bases pretty decently. But when you work on custom workflows and you're building out custom workflows, these are things that could get forgotten because they are very, very easy to miss. Hopefully that helps in going through the process of transitioning tickets back and forth. It's really straightforward, and I say just go ahead and play with it. You can always drag things back and succeed. Thanks.